Welcome to Champion Central, the internet talk show that empowers current and next generation entrepreneurs to live and conduct business as next level leaders. Champion Central spotlights and empowers speaking professionals, giving them a voice to communicate their missions across the world. And now, here's the champion builder herself, your host of Champion Central, Lakeisha McKnight.
Hey you guys, it's Lakeisha McKnight, and I want to welcome you to the show again here on Champion Central Radio, where we come by and we provide great information, we educate, we empower, we entertain the speaking professional, the thought leader that is coaches, authors, current and aspiring speakers, marketers, and ministry leaders. We're here for you. Champion Central Radio is a radio show that is sponsored by a nonprofit called the iLead Outreach, or iLead Outreach, and you can learn more about iLead Outreach by going to www.ileadoutreach.com to learn more information. Of course, the website is being improved, so you'll see some information there that gives you an idea of what the nonprofit is about, but it focuses in on college students, the unemployed, and ex-offenders, the underprivileged, to help them learn to hire themselves and educate them in the area of business. So that is who sponsors, of course, this show, Champion Central Radio. But it also serves as a media outlet for the iLead company, which is the primary company here that focuses in on helping the thought leader expand the reach of their message, right? By way of utilizing various types of informational products and services. And so that is what we are here to do, to really get you going, to empower you in the area of speaking. We have been in on a 100 Thursdays campaign, and you'll learn more about that campaign here on the show, as well as on the website for Champion Central Radio. And you can visit the site by going to www.championcentralradio.com. and you'll learn more information there. But we have been going on a consecutive, this is our 16th week, 16th episode today, where we've been giving tips on how to master the art and the business of speaking. Now, this particular campaign started because of the launch of a book in April that actually hit the Amazon bestsellers list, actually number one on the bestsellers list. And that book is Professional Speaking: How Anyone Can Master the Art and Business of Speaking. You can find that on Amazon, the digital version, as well as the paper or softback version of the book, where you can get your copy at a nominal fee. So go ahead and pick up your version or your copy there on Amazon, and you can join right into this campaign as we continue to move forward. And it will definitely help you. It's a system in a book helping you know how to run a successful speaking business. So definitely, but we want to dive right in and continue with our campaign today, where today we're talking about yet another hot speaking tip, and that is grabbing your audience's attention, grabbing their attention, right? And that is the attention of your audience. And that's really important that you do that, because, you know, that's how you keep them engaged, how you keep them connected. And so one of the best ways to grab the attention of your audience is to tell a funny story. Now, of course, I've told many of funny stories within my messages and presentations, but I can recall one specific story that I usually tell people, you know, even when things and times get rough, I always tell them this scenario, this situation. You always know that there's someone in a worse situation than you are. And at first, I thought there wasn't anyone that can be in a worse situation, but there could have been. There are many people who do not have vehicles. But I recalled my first vehicle. I called it my Jesus Mobile, right? My Jesus Mobile was a purple Chevy Cavalier, right? And it was a two-door. And that bad boy, of course, it was paid off and everything. And, you know, I was going to my job at that point, and I was continuing forward, and I drove up, and I was picking up my husband, and that Jesus Mobile actually cut off on me. And I can recall, us trying to stop the car, and we actually had to put our foot outside of the door to try to stop the car because it just cut off and it was rolling. So we were trying to stop this thing and it just pooped and cut off on us. So every time also we went to stoplights, we came to a sudden stop, the car would just cut right off. It would go poof, 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 and just shut right off at a light. So we would cruise to like every stoplight hoping that it would turn green. And I would tell this story in my messages because, even when times get rough and situations seem like they're just like it's at its worst, there's always someone with a worse situation. And at that moment, I realized, looking back at it, that there are people who didn't have cars or vehicles. And so, of course, it would just cause me to laugh and snicker because of the fact that we had to stop the vehicle in such a conventional way, right? Just reminded you of the Flintstones when they had to stick their legs outside of the doors and even use their feet to get their vehicle going, right? But that's just one example of using a funny story to grab your audience's attention. And there are other ways to do that. You can tell the stories of other situations you've witnessed, but you definitely got to get permission from whoever is the central person in the story to use that story in your speech or presentation. But that's definitely one of the ways to grab your audience's attention. But aside from that, you can also cite an anecdote, right? An anecdote or a quotation for it. So, there are very humorous anecdotes out there and quotations out there that you could easily go to and use. You can Google quite a few, but you definitely want to make sure you give credibility or credit to the source of the quote or anecdote. And you want to do this at the first part of your presentation. So make sure that you include it at the very beginning of your presentation so that people would listen to you. You would immediately grab your audience's attention. And one definite way to get their attention and also to engage your audience is with doses of humor. And so if you add that dose of humor smack dab right at the beginning of your presentation, it will do wonders for your presentation. I can definitely say that. But once you have their attention, you can expect them to listen to all of the important things you have to say in your speech. So definitely grab your audience's attention. Try to use a quote, an anecdote. Some people use statistics, but you don't want to bore them with too much. But also tell a funny story maybe at the beginning of your speech if it's relevant and if it calls for humor at the beginning. Because depending on the type of message you're giving, you may not want to use a funny story at the beginning. But these are just some tips and ways in which you can keep your audience engaged and keep get their attention. So I definitely want you to incorporate this in your next message, okay? All right. Well, I want to thank each and every one of you for listening in for yet another great tip in our 100 Thursdays campaign here on Champion Central Radio, where we're going to help you to reach millions with your message. I want you to come back by next Thursday, right, at 8 o'clock p.m. so that you can get yet another tip. And so we can continue to move forward in this campaign. Don't forget to share with your family, friends, and colleagues about the exciting book that was released and that hit the bestsellers list, Professional Speaking, How Anyone Can Master the Art and Business of Speaking, and we're going to continue to go on our journey. And if you are in Virginia, please note that there is an exciting event going on that's going to take place on September 21st, and it's going to be at the Hibachi Grill in Virginia, where there's going to be an empowerment seminar for speakers. And that's going to be on the 21st, and that's going to be from 12 o'clock p.m., 5 o'clock p.m., and lunch is included. I want you to visit professionalspeakerbook.com, professionalspeakerbook.com, to learn more information. Click on the seminars button. You'll have a seminars button there that tells you about all the seminars that spun off of the book release. And you'll want to definitely click on part 2 of the speaker book program, and it's going to take you to part 2 of the campaign, which is that lovely empowerment seminar that you would want to take part in. And we're going to also, of course, begin to include that link in the description area of today's message, so stay tuned for that. But other than that, thank you so much for listening in for yet another great tip, and be back on next Thursday as we continue along in this campaign. You all be blessed and stay tuned next week. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Champion Central with Lakeisha McKnight. If you'd like to comment about any of the topics discussed on the program, learn how to be a Champion Central sponsor, or find out how to become a guest on the show, come on over and visit us at ChampionCentralRadio.com. That's ChampionCentralRadio.com. Join Lakeisha for the next edition of Champion Central. And remember, champions don't just win, they overcome.